Fáilte, welcome. Hello, everyone. Good evening to you. Trónánawa. Welcome to Live Irish Myths, episode number 44. Dachid is a ceathair, with me, Anthony Murphy from Mythical Ireland. We, this evening, are going to continue and conclude our journey through n-Uislenn, the Exile of the Sons of Usineach, or otherwise known as Deirdre and the Sons of Usineach, one of the three great sorrows of Irish storytelling. This evening, I would like to say thank you very much, because I forgot to do it in the first and second sections or episodes of the Exile of the Sons of Usineach, to say thanks to Daniel Welch, who was the one who suggested the episode theme. So thank you, Daniel. And apologies for Gomala Scale. Sorry for not mentioning that before now. Something I just want to very briefly mention. If there are any of you out there who are able to help me to create a podcast for this, I can provide the audio files. I don't have them all, but we can sort that out. But I'm not sure how to create a podcast and what the best podcast service is available. I've had a number of requests from people to make it available as a podcast so that they can listen to it rather than having to watch it on YouTube. So if there's anybody out there who's able to help, maybe you might get in touch by email, and I'll just put my email address in as a comment below. It's mythicalireland@gmail.com. So that's just for anybody joining, if anybody's able to help with regards to establishing Live Irish Myths as a podcast. If you think you can help, drop me a line. mythicalireland@gmail.com. As usual, thank you to all of the Mythical Ireland patrons over at patreon.com/Mythical Ireland, whose assistance with this live stream is much appreciated. And if you want to consider becoming a patron, please drop over to patreon.com/Mythical Ireland and have a look. Don't forget that all of the previous episodes are available on the YouTube channel, on the Facebook page, but the very easiest place to get them at the moment is on the Mythical Ireland blog at mythicalireland.com, where you will find all of the episodes conveniently embedded into one post there, which again, I will post as a link beneath. Anyway, on YouTube, the YouTubers are early because I have to set up the feed in advance. Erica Bow says, howdy from Cibolo in Texas, between San Antonio and Austin. My last name is pronounced here in Texas as Bow, like Bow Wow. Erica Bow. So the surname is spelt B-A-U-C-H. So that's interesting. That sounds almost like you'd pronounce some Irish words. Erica Rivertree says, Banachty, oh, Louisville, Kentucky, spent a lovely spring day gardening. Conasa tá tú, tá me go hiantach. Erica, Fáilte. Daisy Peter says, I'm here again. Glad to see you, Mythical Ireland, Anthony Murphy, and everyone. Lots of smiley faces and hearts, thumbs up and shamrocks. Lovely to have you in the house. Fáilte, agus Deirdre, Daisy. Who else? Multi Neil 11 says, evening, everyone. Trónánawa. Neil, welcome along. And Heard-a-Shot is there, but has retracted a message. Must have been bold. On Facebook, Aaron Durrett is the first in the house this evening. Fáilte, Aaron. Steve Martinson. Looking forward to another wonderful story night. Fáilte, Steve. Rowan Grove says, hello to all from Colorado. Managed to remember the time shift. Brilliant stuff. And I think is it 11 a.m. there? Fantastic stuff. Good morning to you. Majin Ma. Catherine Wall McManus says, hi, Anthony and Tua. Trónánawa, Catherine. Mandy McCurl says, hello from the sunny Isle of Mull. Jigrich, Mandy. Pat Rowan is watching. The man who can see across thousands of miles without using, FaceTime. Jackie Stevenson says, hello from California. Good evening, Jackie. Lovely to have you along. Laura McCormick says, hello. I thought you had Fridays off. Wonderful about the podcast. I don't have Fridays off. I just go earlier because myself and my wife have a date night. So you guys take second place, you know. Kristen Taggart says, hello from California, where it's sunny and warm today. Good to be here with Anthony and the Tua. Céad míle fáilte, Kristen. Pat Rowan says, caught it an hour early. Brilliant stuff. And hope you're well, Pat. Lovely to have you along. As it always is, Mariana Dunn says hello to all from rainy Virginia. Well, I'm sorry about Tasha Kurbashti in you. Not to worry, Mariana. Hopefully the weather will improve for you. Barbara Kling says hello to everyone from Vermont. Fáilte. Beautiful sunny day here today. Tá an Gríonig Tatniv in Vermont. Guido Bruce is watching. Fáilte Guido. Conasatá too. Nick Eska Casterton says hi, Anthony. Hi, Tua. Turanonawat Nick. Yvette Tillema. Hi, Anthony. What's up with Deirdre flashing red? Hi, all, and thanks. No, I can't comment. That might be a spoiler. Henry Paddy Shearman is in the house. Fáilte, Henry. Judy McQueen says hello. Gigrich, Judy. Domenico Venditti says hello from Rome. Ciao, Domenico. Lovely to have you along. Hello to all our friends from Ireland to Italy. And Pat Rowan says hello from the beautiful Olympic Peninsula, Discovery Bay, Washington. Beautiful name. Rowan Grove says it's noon here. Good. Not too bad so. Freya says hello, Anthony, and all the lovely people here. Fáilte, Freya. Fáilte more. Dave Russell, I went to the chemist today and asked the assistant, what kills coronavirus? She replied, ammonia cleaner. I said, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you worked here. Dreadful. That's like one of mine. Ralph Waldron says hi from Athleague. Thought your own story was terrific. Deirdre was good too. Well, perhaps we might get a chance to tell a few more stories. I'm thinking about a couple of alternative episodes actually in the coming days, which I hope will just be something different other than reading. But anyway, keep tuned. Stay tuned. Annie Newton says hi, everyone. Fáilte, Annie. Liam Mahan. Hello again, everyone. Hi, Liam. You're very welcome. Patricia McAteer is watching from County Louth. Fáilte more, Patricia. Cy B says, good evening from Uisneach, from Limerick. Hi, Cy, you're welcome. Catherine Woodruff is in central Wisconsin and says, hello all. Gigrich, Catherine. Jennifer Foley says, hello everyone from Michigan. Hello, Jennifer. Tá Fáilte Roat. And Patricia is just confirming that she's in Omeath. Hi, Patricia. Hope you're well. Macy Damon says, good evening. Trononawa, Macy. Pamela Walters, Banachty from the Netherlands. Listening, watching in a lovely summer house, surrounded by birds and several bees. That sounds like something straight out of Tuchmark Etain. And that, agreeing on, your summer house sounds just lovely. Doris O'Hara says, hi from Heidelberg, and a big smiley face. A Grawmore. Doris, you're very welcome. Paul Goodman, Fáilte from Athens. Lovely to have you in Chochvorku tonight, a poll. Leon Connor says, howdy partner from Missouri. You're very welcome along, Leon. Who designs the episode graphics? They're eye-catching and lovely. I designed them myself, Macy. In my day job, I am a sub-editor and a graphic designer for a national newspaper. So it's been something I've been doing for quite a long time. Anna McGill says, New Jersey here. Always good to have the New Jerseyans in the house. Nice to have you along, Anna. Fáilte. Thalia Brown says, hello from Glastonbury, tuning in for the final installment. Only the final installment of Longest Uisneach, the Exile of the Sons of Usineach, not the final installment of Live Irish Myths, we certainly hope. John McGovern is watching. Ichawa Achioin. Leslie Jackson is saying hello from Wales, just across the way. Fáilte Roat. And on YouTube, Sam Cross. Yes, I finally made a live session. I'm learning so much. Hello to all from Sue in Wyoming. Sue, tá Fáilte more Roat. You're very, very welcome. Good to have you along. Heard a shot. Who is Tom King, says, evening all, another lovely day. Looking forward to part 3. And says, I made it bags of my first post. Whoops, sorry. Don't worry. Green-Hearted 77, whose name is Carol, says, hi all from Galway. Fáilte, Guji Connagalif. Love and Light from South Carolina, says Autumn Piper. Fáilte Autumn. Daniel Kedney says, Gigrich, I'm ready for this. Gias Muraglich. Daniel, you're very welcome along, watching from Facebook and YouTube. Brilliant. Nani Chonchor. How do you pronounce your surname? I apologize. Is it Nikrohor? Conas atá agat Kiri here. Ah, brilliant. We have Kerry in the house. That's brilliant. Someone from Kerry. That's fantastic stuff. Let's get started, shall we? Jech Nomade. 10 minutes. Oh, where is my where's my placeholder? I hope it's still there from last night, so we know where to take up. Yes, and so we are into part 3. It's not actually broken into parts. It is traditionally told as one continuous story, but we've had to break it up because it would take 3 hours to read otherwise. Pat says, beautiful job with the graphics, Antone. I'm going to spell my name in Irish for you. Antone. A-N-T-O for the I-N. Page 413, top, says Yvette. Yes, thank you, Yvette. I actually do have it marked, but thank you for your assistance anyway. Are we ready? What are we? 11 minutes. Good. It was then Conchobar said, what place is my own son, Feachra, the fair? I am here, High Prince, said Feachra. By my word, said Conchobar, it is on the one night yourself and Uisneach were born, and as it is the arms of his father he has with him, let you take my arms with you, that is, my shield, the Ochan, my 2 spears, and my great sword, the Gorum Gloss, the blue-green, and do bravery and great deeds with them. Then Feachra took Conchobar's arms, and he and fair-haired Uisneach attacked one another. And they made a stout fight, one against the other. But however it was, fair-haired Uisneach put down Feachra, so that he made him lie under the shelter of his shield, till it roared for the greatness of the strait he was in. For it was the way with the Ochan, the shield of Conchobar, to roar when the person on whom it would be was in danger. And the 3 chief waves of Ireland, the wave of Tua, the wave of Cleana, and the wave of Rory, roared in answer to it. Pamela says, Goro Mahagot, Anthony and Patrick Rowan. I can't like your comments as I'm watching on my phone. For some reason, the like button doesn't appear, but I do enjoy your comments too. Yeah, sure, you can comment as well in reply. Don't worry about it. Dave says you have to give it a few seconds. It was at that time Conall Cearnach was at Dun Saorcha, and he heard the wave of Tua. True it is, said Conall. Conchobar is in some danger, and it is not right for me to be here listening to him. Conall rose up on that, and he put his arms and his armour on him, and came forward to where Conchobar was at Owenmacha, and he found the fight going on the lawn. On the lawn, and Feachra, the son of Conchobar, greatly pressed by fair-haired Uisneach, and neither the king of Ulster nor any other person dared to go between them. But Conall went aside, behind fair-haired Uisneach, and thrust his sword through him. Who is it that has wounded me behind my back, said fair-haired Uisneach. Whoever did it, by my hand of valour, he would have got a fair fight, face to face, from myself. Who are you yourself, said Conall. I am Uisneach, son of Fergus. And are you yourself Conall? It is I, said Conall. It is evil and it is heavy, the work you have done, said Uisneach. And the Sons of Usineach under my protection. Is that true, said Conall. It is true indeed, said Uisneach. By my hand of valour, said Conall, Conchobar will not get his own son alive from me to avenge it. And he gave a stroke of the sword to Feachra, so that he struck his head off, and he left them so. The cloud of death came upon fair-haired Uisneach then, and he threw his arms towards the fortress, and called out to Naoise to do bravery, and after that he died. Laura Adomatroy says, hello, Anthony, sitting in my fairy garden and being ready to be transported into your myth tale. Lovely to have you along this evening, Laura Fáilte, from Blessington, isn't it, in County Wicklow. Lovely, lovely. It is then Conchobar himself came out and 1,900 men with him. There's that number 19 again. And Conall said to him, go up now to the doorway of the fort and see where your sister's children are lying on a bed of trouble. A bed of trouble, I like that. And when Conchobar saw them, he said, you are not sister's children to me. It is not the deed of sister's children you have done me, but you have done harm to me with treachery in the sight of all the men of Ireland. And it is what Uisneach said to him. Although we took well-shaped, soft-handed Deirdre from you, yet we did a little kindness to you at another time, and this is the time to remember it. That day your ship was breaking up on the sea, and it is full of gold and silver. We gave you up our own ship, and ourselves went swimming to the harbour. Well, Conchobar said, if you did 50 good deeds to me, surely this would be my thanks. I would not give you peace, and you in distress, but every great want I could put on you. And then Arden said, we did another little kindness to you, and this is the time to remember it. The day the speckled horse failed you on the green of Dundalgan. It was we gave you the grey horse that would bring you fast on your road. But Conchobar said, if you had done 50 good deeds to me, surely this would be my thanks. I would not give you peace, and you in distress, but every great want I could put on you. And then Naoise said, we did you another good deed, and this is the time to remember it. We have put you under many benefits. It is strong our right is to your protection. The time when Murkyle, son of Brian, fought the 7 battles at Ben Ether, we brought you without fail the heads of the sons of the king of the southeast. But Conchobar said, if you had done me 50 good deeds, surely this is my thanks. I would not give you peace in your distress, but every great want I could put upon you. Everything in this story seems to happen 3 times. It's just like the time when the warrior who arrived at the secret hiding place of Deirdre and Levercam called out, and each time he called out, Levercam told Deirdre that it was only the voice of a bird. Everything seems to have to be repeated 3 times. Your death is not a death to me now, young sons of Uisneach, since he that was innocent fell by you, the 3rd best of the horsemen of Ireland. Then Deirdre said, rise up, Naoise, take your sword, good son of a king, mind yourself well, for it is not long that life will be left in your fair body. My Vanway Millward says, hello from Bristol. Just finished watching episode 43 and realised you're on at 7 p.m. I was engrossed in your story of the whistle playing, so a bit late. No problem. And that's a very good reason to be late indeed. You haven't missed a whole lot, but you're very welcome, Fáilte. Ronan Farrell is watching. Giagwich, Ronan, you're welcome along. 3 times. This must be a very ancient formula because it is in the Bible also, says Aaron. Yes, absolutely. So Deirdre is basically encouraging Naoise to rise up and take his sword, but is also predicting that he won't live long. Yeah, thanks for the encouragement, Deirdre. I feel very confident now. It is then all Conchobar's men came about the house, and they put fires and burning to it. Arden went out then, and his men, and put out the fires, and killed 300 men. Wow. And Uisneach went out in the 3rd part of the night, and he killed 300, and did slaughter and destruction on them. I love the way the translations are. And did slaughter and destruction on them. And Naoise went out in the last quarter of the night and drove away all the army from the house. Rowan Grove says, Deirdre being cheerful again. Yeah. He came into the house after that, and it is then Deirdre rose up and said to him, By my word, it is well you won your way, and do bravery and valour from this out. And it was bad advice you took whenever you trusted Concobar. As for the sons of Uisneach, after that they made a good protection with their shields, and they put Deirdre in the middle and linked the shields around her, and they gave 3 leaps out over the walls of Owen, and they killed 300 men in that sally. When Concobar saw that, he went to Coffa the Druid and said to him, Go, Coffa, to the sons of Uisneach, and work enchantment on them, for unless they are hindered, they will destroy the men of Ulster forever if they go away in spite of them. And I give the word of a true hero, they will get no harm from me, but let them only make agreement with me. Like they're going to trust Concobar at this late hour. I don't think so. When Coffa heard that, he agreed, believing him, and he went to the end of his arts and his knowledge to hinder the sons of Uisneach, and he worked enchantment on them, so that he put the likeness of a dark sea about them with hindering waves. Margaret rings in the house, Fáilte, for none of what Margaret connas atá to. And when Naoise saw the waves start again, Anthony. And when Naoise saw the waves rising, he put up Deirdre on his shoulder, and it is how the sons of Uisneach were, swimming on the ground as they were going out of Owen. Yet the men of Ulster did not dare to come near them until their swords had fallen from their hands. But after their swords fell from their hands, the sons of Uisneach were taken. And when they were taken, Concobar asked of the children of Dúrthacht to kill them. But the children of Dúrthacht said they would not do that. Obviously, the children of Dúrthacht had some honour. There was a young man with Concobar whose name was Manye, and his surname Roughhand, son of the king of the fair Norwegians. And it is Naoise had killed his father and his 2 brothers. Athrach and Treathrach were their names. And he said he himself would kill the sons of Uisneach. If that is so, said Ardan, kill me the first, for I am the younger than my brothers, so that I will not see my brothers killed. Let him not be killed, but myself, said Uisneach. Let that not be done, said Naoise, for I have a sword that Manannán, son of Lear, gave me, and the stroke of it leaves nothing after it, track nor trace. And strike the 3 of us together, and we will die at the one time. That is well, said they all, and let you lay down your heads, they said. They did that, and Manye gave a strong, quick blow of the sword on the 3 heads together on the block, and struck the 3 heads off them with one stroke. And the men of Ulster gave 3 loud, sorrowful shouts, and cried aloud about them there. As for Deirdre, she cried pitifully, wearily, and tore her fair hair, and she was talking on the sons of Uisneach and on Alban. And it is what she said. Excuse me. A blessing eastward to Alban from me. Good is the sight of her bays and valleys. Pleasant was it to sit on the slopes of her hills, where the sons of Uisneach used to be hunting. I'm going to need to take a drink of water. One day, when the nobles of Scotland were drinking with the sons of Uisneach, to whom they owed their affection, Naoise gave a kiss secretly to the daughter of the Lord of Duntrion. He sent her a frightened deer, wild, and a fawn at its foot, and he went to visit her coming home from the host of Inverness. When myself heard that, my head filled full of jealousy. I put my boat on the waves. It was the same to me to live or to die. They followed me swimming, Ainle and Arden, that never said a lie. They turned me back again, two that would give battle to 100. Naoise gave me his true word. He spoke 3 times with his arms as witness. He would never put vexation on me again, until he would go from me to the hosts of the dead. Och, if she knew tonight, Naoise, to be under a covering of clay, it is she would cry her fill, and it is I would cry along with her. After she had made this complaint, seeing they were all taken up with one another, Deirdre came forward on the lawn, and she was running round and round, up and down, from one to another, and Cuchulainn met her. And she told him the story from first to last, how it had happened to the sons of Uisneach. It is sorrowful Cuchulainn was for that, for there was not in the world a man was dearer to him than Naoise. And he asked who killed him. Manya Roughhand, said Deirdre. Then Cuchulainn went away, sad and sorrowful, to Dundalgan. After that, Deirdre lay down in the grave, and they were digging earth from it, and she made this lament after the sons of Uisneach. Long is the day without the sons of Uisneach. It was never wearisome to be in their company. Sons of a king that entertained exiles, 3 lions of the hill of the cave. 3 darlings of the women of Britain, 3 hawks of Slieve Cualann, sons of a king served by valour, to whom warriors did obedience. The 3 mighty bears, 3 lions of the fort of Conrach, 3 sons of a king who thought well of their praise, 3 nurslings of the men of Ulster. 3 heroes not good at homage, their fall is a cause of sorrow, 3 sons of the sister of a king, 3 props of the army of Cuilne, 3 dragons of Dunmonad, 3 valiant men from the Red Branch. I myself will not be living after them, the 3 that broke hard battles. 3 that were brought up by Aoife, to whom lands were under tribute, 3 pillars in the breach of battle, 3 pupils that were with Scahach. 3 pupils that were with Uachach, 3 champions that were lasting in might, 3 shining sons of Uisneach. It is weariness to be without them. The High King of Ulster, my first betrothed, I forsook for love of Naoise. Short my life will be after him. I will make keening at their burial. That I would live after Naoise, let no one think on the earth. I will not go on living after Ainle and after Arden. After them I myself will not live. 3 that would leap through the midst of battle. Since my beloved is gone from me, I will cry my fill over his grave. O young man digging the new grave, do not make the grave narrow. I will be along with them in the grave, making lamentation and ochones. Many the hardship I met with, along with the 3 heroes. I suffered want of house, want of fire. It is myself that used not to be troubled. Their 3 shields and their spears made a bed for me often. O young man, put their 3 swords close over their grave. Their 3 hounds, their 3 hawks, will be from this time without huntsmen. 3 aids of every battle, 3 pupils of Conall Cearnach. The 3 lashes of those 3 hounds have brought a sigh from my heart. It is I had the care of them. The sight of them is a cause of grief. I was never one day alone to the day of the making of this grave, though it is often that myself and yourselves were in loneliness. My sight is gone from me with looking at the grave of Naoise. It is short till my life will leave me, and those who would have keened me do not live. Since it is through me they were betrayed, I will be tired out with sorrow. It is a pity I was not in the earth before the sons of Uisneach were killed. Sorrowful was my journey with Fergus, betraying me to the Red Branch. We were deceived altogether with his sweet, flowery words. I left the delights of Ulster for the 3 heroes that were bravest. My life will not be long. I myself am alone after them. I am Deirdre without gladness, and I at the end of my life, since it is grief to be without them. I myself will not be long after them. After that complaint, Deirdre loosed out her hair and threw herself on the body of n-Uislenn before it was put in the grave, and gave 3 kisses to him. And when her mouth touched his blood, the colour of burning sods came into her cheeks, and she rose up like one that had lost her wits. And she went on through the night till she came to where the waves were breaking on the strand. And a fisherman was there and his wife, and they brought her into their cabin and sheltered her. And she neither smiled nor laughed, nor took food, drink, or sleep, nor raised her head from her knees, but crying always after the sons of Uisneach. But when she could not be found at Owen, Conchobar sent Levercam to look for her, and to bring her back to his palace, that he might make her his wife. And can I just say at this moment, fat, bloody chance mate. Sorry. And Levercam found her in the fisherman's cabin, and she bade her come back to Owen, where she would have protection and riches, and all that she would ask. And she gave her this message she brought from Conchobar. Come up to my house, O branch with the dark eyelashes, and there need be no fear on your fair face of hatred or of jealousy or of reproach. And Deirdre said, I will not go up to his house, for it is not land or earth or food I am wanting, or gold or silver or horses, but leave to go to the grave where the sons of Uisneach are lying, till I give the 3 honey kisses to their 3 white, beautiful bodies. And she made this complaint. Make keening for the heroes that were killed on their coming to Ireland. Stately they used to be, coming to the house, the 3 great sons of Uisneach. The sons of Uisneach fell in the fight, like 3 branches that were growing straight and nice, and they destroyed in a heavy storm that left neither bud nor twig of them. n-Uislenn, my gentle, well-learned comrade, made no delay in crying him with me. Cry for Ardon that killed the wild boars. Cry for n-Uislenn, whose strength was great. Katrina is here. Queen Toriacht, Keening, we miss this now. Good evening to you, Tranonawa, Katrina. It was n-Uislenn that would kiss my lips, my first man and my first sweetheart. It was n-Uislenn would pour out my drink, and it was Ardon would lay my pillow. Though sweet to you is the mead that is drunk by the soft-living son of Ness, the food of the sons of Uisneach was sweeter to me all through my lifetime. Whenever n-Uislenn would go out to hunt through the woods or the wide plains, all the mead he would bring back was better to me than honey. Michael Murphy is saying, I had 2 doctor appointments, Anthony, so I have to watch later. No problem, Michael. I completely understand. Deirdre anyway, Fáilte. Gina Zeller Bulger says, hello from the USA. Deirdre, Gina, nice to have you along. Nís fiar Janov na Ariev. Just wanted to say hi to everyone. Well, good evening to you, Michael. I hope you're well, and please stay safe. Though sweet to you are the sounds of pipes and of trumpets, it is truly I say to the king, I have heard music that is sweeter. Delightful to Conchobar, the king, are pipes and trumpets, but the singing of the Sons of Usineach was more delightful to me. Tanya Noble says, sorry I'm late. Good day all from Illinois. Trononawa, Tanya Falcha. Better late than never. I should have known that. Nice Fiar Janov Nor Ariev. It was Nisha had the deep sound of the waves in his voice. It was the song of Arden that was good, and the voice of Ainla towards their green dwelling place. Their birth was beautiful, and their blossoming, as they grew to the strength of manhood. Sad is the end today, the Sons of Usineach to be cut down. That's a Gaelga, Irish, Michael. Yes, absolutely. Dear were their pleasant words, dear their young high strength. In their going through the plains of Ireland, there was a welcome before the coming of their strength. Dear their grey eyes that were loved by women, many looked on them as they went. When they went freely searching through the woods, their steps were pleasant on the dark mountain. I do not sleep at any time, and the colour is gone from my face. There is no sound can give me delight, since the Sons of Usineach do not come. I do not sleep through the night. My senses are scattered away from me. I do not care for food or drink. I have no welcome today for the pleasant drink of nobles, or ease, or comfort, or delight, or a great house, or the palace of a king. Do not break the strings of my heart, as you took hold of my young youth, Conchobar. Though my darling is dead, my love is strong to live. What is country to me, or land, or lordship? What are swift horses? What are jewels and gold? Och, it is I will be lying tonight on the strand, like the beautiful Sons of Usineach. So Leverham went back to Conchobar to tell him what way Deirdre was, and that she would not come with her to Uisneach. And when she was gone, Deirdre went out on the strand, and she found a carpenter making an oar for a boat and making a mast for it, clean and straight, to put up a sail to the wind. And when she saw him making it, she said, "It is a sharp knife you have, to cut the oar so clean and so straight. And if you will give it to me," she said, "I will give you a ring of the best gold in Ireland for it, the ring that belonged to Nisha, and that was with him through the battle and through the fight. He thought much of it in his lifetime. It is pure gold through and through." So the carpenter took the ring in his hand, and the knife in the other hand, and he looked at them together, and he gave her the knife for the ring, and for her asking, and her tears. Then Deirdre went close to the waves, and she said, "Since the other is not with me now, I will spend no more of my lifetime without him." And with that, she drove the black knife into her side, but she drew it out again, and threw it in the sea to her right hand, the way no one would be blamed for her death. Then Conchobar came down to the strand, and 500 men along with him, to bring Deirdre away to Uisneach, but all he found before him was her white body on the ground, and it without life. And it is what he said: "1,000 deaths on the time I brought death on my sister's children. Now I am myself without Deirdre, and they themselves are without life. They were my sister's children, the 3 brothers I vexed with blows, Nisha and Ainla and Arden. They have died along with Deirdre." And they took her white, beautiful body and laid it in a grave, and a flagstone was raised over her grave, and over the grave of the Sons of Usineach, and their names were written in Ogham, and keening was made for their burial. And as to Fergus, son of Roch, He came on the day after the children of Uisneach were killed to Uisneach, and when he found they had been killed and his pledge to them broken, he himself and Cormac Conlungus, Concobar's own son, and Dovtak, the beetle of Ulster, with their men, made on an attack on Concobar's house and men, and a great many were killed by them, and Uisneach was burned and destroyed. And after doing that, they went into Connacht to Ailill and Maeve and Crochan, and they were made welcome there. And they took service with them and fought with them against Ulster because of the treachery that was done by Concobar. And that is the way Fergus and the others came to be on the side of the men of Connacht in the war for the brown bull of Cuilne. And Coffa laid a curse on Uisneach on account of that great wrong. And it is what he said, that none of the race of Concobar should have the kingdom to the end of life and time. And that came true, for the most of Concobar's sons died in his own lifetime. And when he was near his death, he bade the men of Ulster bring back Cormac Conlungus out of Crochan and give him the kingdom. So they sent messengers to Cormac, and he set out with his three troops of men with him, and he left his blessing with Ailill and Maeve, and he promised them a good return for all the kind treatment they had given him. And they crossed the river at Athlone. That's Athlone, modern-day town of Athlone on the Shannon, County Westmeath. And there they saw a red woman at the edge of the ford, and she washing her chariot and her harness. And could I just say, beware the washerwoman at the ford. And after that, they met a young girl coming towards them, and a light green cloak about her, and a brooch of precious stones at her breast. And Cormac asked her, was she coming with them? And she said she was not, and it would be better for himself to turn back, for the ruin of his life was come. And he stopped for the night at the house of the two smiths on the hill of Broyan Moor, the great dwelling place. And a troop of the men of Connacht came about the house in the night, for they were on the way home after destroying and robbing a district of Ulster, and they thought to make an end of Cormac before he would get to Owen. And it chanced there was a great harper, Craftinne, living close by, and his wife Scanub, daughter of Skehern, a druid of Connacht, loved Cormac. Conlungus, and 3 times she had gone to meet him at Athlone, and she planted 3 trees there, grief and dark and dumbness. And there was a great hatred and jealousy of Cormac on Craftinne. So when he knew the men of Connacht were going to make an attack on him, he went outside the house with his harp and played a soft, sleepy tune to them, the way he had not strength to rouse himself up, and himself and the most of his people were killed. And Amergin, that had gone with the message to him, made his grave and his mound, and the place is called Cluan Duma, the lawn of the mound. And thus concludes the story of the exile of the Sons of Usineach. That is really very interesting. There's another extreme synchronicity there just as I finished that. That's why I was taking a note. And I'm just going to take a further note about it now while people comment away, and we'll get back to just saying something more momentarily. Page 420. And so, yes, inevitably bound up in all of that story is the whole theme of grief, and the whole theme of grief for somebody who has passed away, and the dealing with that grief and the handling of it, and the overwhelming nature of it when someone that we love passes on. And bound up again with that is also the theme of keening, which is an old tradition of basically crying. And it's like keeners were found at funerals up until, I suppose, probably the 20th century in Ireland. And they were almost professional in their duties. They were, I think, mostly women who attended funerals and who wailed continuously and monotonously at the wake or at the side of the corpse, as an expression of the community's grief for the passing. One of the things that you probably would have noticed if you were watching the episode about the Milky Way, you would have noticed that version does not really talk about the separate graves. That there were, in fact, in the version that I'm familiar with, Deirdre jumps into the grave with the three brothers, with the three sons of Uisneach, and she's buried with them. And that afterwards, Crohor or Conchobar has them separated and put in separate graves, and eventually on either side of a lake, and that the trees grow up and the twining branches are the Milky Way. And I'm going to read that. Keening lasted longer in America, longer than in Ireland, says Katrina. Yeah, I'm kind of not surprised, because some of the traditions, and in fact the tradition of the twining branches in relation to Longus Mac Uisneach, actually emigrated to Nova Scotia and was not really known about in Ireland, but resurfaced, or not that it resurfaced, it was kept alive on the far side of the Atlantic. And it's not surprising to me then that keening should have lasted longer in America. Scéala gan faoi interact a rinne mé an seo. Ur Egan. Give us the English of that too, will you? And so it was that a few years back, I, being such a big fan of James MacKillop and his Celtic Dictionary of Oxford, or Oxford Dictionary of Celtic Mythology, which has always been such a big source for me, I purchased another book by MacKillop, which is Myths and Legends of the Celts, and that is a Penguin book. Let's just see when it was published, just in case any of you want to follow up and purchase it. First published in 2005, published in paperback in 2006. So this is obviously a 2006 publication. And in there, I found that MacKillop said that there was nothing or very, very, very little in the Irish mythology pertaining to creation, what we would call creation myths. Now, that is something I disagree with him on. I think that the story of Bowen is a creation myth. I think the story of Mata is a creation myth. It fits in with familiar themes. The story of Kazare and Fintan Mac Bóchra is a creation myth. And indeed, this story is a creation myth. Now, I'm just going to read this bit to you, just so that you know what had happened. So this is about Nova Scotia, and I know that we have maybe not immediately tonight, but we have had during the series a few listeners from Nova Scotia and Newfoundland and Labrador and various parts of Canada. The furthest flung, newest and least studied canton of the Celtic world lies in the Canadian maritime province of Nova Scotia. Large numbers of impoverished, landless, Gaelic-speaking Highlanders were settled there from the late 18th century through to the middle of the 19th. They came from the former shires of Inverness, Argyll and Ross, both the mainland and the Hebridean Islands. Some were victims of the clearances, whereas Irish, Welsh and Scottish Gaelic were once spoken, written and published elsewhere in North America. Only in Nova Scotia did a widespread oral tradition flourish, one that has persisted until the 21st century. The 1900 census recorded 100,000 speakers, most of them born in the province. This Gaeltacht, or Gaelic-speaking region, encompassed most of Cape Breton Island. There you go, Joan. Joan Rankin, and the mainland counties south of the Cumberland Strait. Given the relative poverty of Gaelic speakers in the hinterlands of a remote province, traditions that were little heeded by the majority. Given the relative poverty of Gaelic speakers in the hinterlands of a remote province, traditions there were little heeded by the majority culture. Official disdain helped suppress the language until the late 20th century, when most native speakers had died off. Conventional observation held that Cape Bretoners, or Capers, had scant literature meriting much attention. Recent study corrects this misapprehension. Margaret MacDonald's The Emigrant Experience, Songs of Highland Emigrants in North America, 1982, shows how a highly sophisticated, disciplined Gaelic literary culture extended uninterrupted from Scotland to Nova Scotia and smaller settlements in Ontario and North Carolina. Despite the emphasis on adapting to a new environment, the texts MacDonald examines include continuing references to Scottish experience and place names such as Strathglass, Gairloch, and Islay. Their isolation and linguistic separateness foster a striking cultural conservatism in Nova Scotian Highland settlers. The ambience of the Scottish homeland is more evident among the tales of unlettered Gaelic speakers, with references to kings and castles never seen in the New World. Adventures of Irish heroes such as Cuchulainn, Fionn McColl, Oscar, and Diarmid, also known in Gaelic Scotland, are extended in a land of herring fisheries and maple trees. Some of the traditions that migrated to Nova Scotia, however, are not recorded in Scotland. Their existence supports the documentable pattern that archaic survivals are found at the periphery of a given cultural area. Most of the Highlanders in Nova Scotia emigrated before folklore and folk tales were thought worth recording. Recording of Gaelic lore in Nova Scotia did not begin until the 20th century, and the storyteller with the most extensive repertory, Joe Neil MacNeil, 1908 to 1997, was not interviewed until the 1970s. And this is, I don't know about you guys, I think this is absolutely fascinating. The Harvard-trained scholar John Shaw transcribed, edited, and translated his stories in Tales Until Dawn, 1987. That's a publication, a book, obviously, when MacNeil was in advanced years. A fragment not included in the collection gives what is possibly the only item of cosmology from the Celtic world. Now, I disagree with MacKillop on this one. It's not the only item, but it is a fascinating one. In it, the origin of the Milky Way galaxy is depicted as emerging from two trees separated by a loch, as if to complete an arch between them. The narrator places this episode within the well-known Ulster story of Deirdre, here spelt Deirdre, D-E-I-R-D-I-R-E. Her lover here is named N-Uis, N-O-I-S, Noishe, one of the children of Uisneach. In this variant, the Sons of Usineach are killed in a great unnamed battle, after which Deirdre falls into the grave with the men. The bodies of the two lovers are exhumed and reburied on either side of the burial mound. Soon, a tree grows from each grave and rises until the two join. This arouses a great deal of vengeful malice in an unnamed king who orders that the trees be cut down. So obviously this is a different variant of the story. Soon another pair of trees grows and joins until the king has them cut down as well. This sequence of events recurs repeatedly until the king decides to have the bodies placed on either side of a loch, a distance too great for the trees to span. Between the trees, a cluster of stars gathers in a light trail. Scríab n-Uislenn, track of the children of Uisneach. Shaw reports having also heard this phrase elsewhere in Gaelic Nova Scotia. And Scríab n-Uislenn, the track of the children of Uisneach, is the two portions of the Milky Way that are seen to join together roughly in Cygnus, having been separated by this dark rift between them. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous stuff. Katrina is quoting here or commenting. Anthony, what book is this? Myths and Legends of the Celts by James MacKillop. And it's a Penguin publication, first published 2005, republished in paperback in 2006. So Katrina says, Rath joined me for an examination of terms in Irish. Tá Gaeilge iontach aici agus ag golóir lór Americani. So there is excellent, she has excellent Irish, and golóir lór Americani, a lot of Americans too. Tá Gaeltacht I Canada, there's a Gaeltacht or an Irish speaking area in Canada. Tá Gaeli fós I Canada freshen. Irish is, or Gaelge is fós, I was going to say growing, that's fós. Fós I Canada freshen. Tá tradiisiún lodger on, Noira on knowledge. Official disdain. Yes. Luckily. Now, I must, that's another publication that I'm going to search for myself, that Tales Until Dawn. But luckily that John Shaw, spent so much time tracking down these stories, and that he interviewed Joe Neil McNeil, who had the most extensive repertoire of any of the Gaelic speakers of Nova Scotia. Fantastic stuff. Lots of interesting trees on Uisneach too. Yes, Billa. Scalema, says Seamus Costello. Milky Way, says Katrina. Beautiful story about the trees. A Night on Eru, Anthony. Yeah, beautiful but sad. Yes, the story of, well, it is one of the tragic, sorrowful tales of Irish mythology. It is like, you can't avoid the sorrowful in telling stories. It's like in modern novels and in modern movies. Kill your hero, It's like it's like Gladiator, Gladiator gets, in case you haven't seen it. No, it's 20 years old. You should have seen it by now. Anyway, I just read a few comments and then head off and help with the food and the wine and the movie. And I'll see you all tomorrow. I'm going to go off the beaten track, I think, tomorrow and investigate an interesting sort of side topic related to the whole exploration of mythology. Just on YouTube, Autumn Piper says, love and light from South Carolina. Autumn, I know I'm reading these late in the day, but I'm sorry about that. Kaffa and Concobar are cheating. Yes, says Daniel, absolutely they are. Something I learn from the tale is beauty is nothing but a curse. That's one way of looking at it, all right. Irish technical thinker, and that is Marcus and Rachel watching by the fire out our back garden. She's drinking gin and lemonade and ice, and I'm drinking mead made from bees from the Boyne River Honey Farms. Fantastic stuff. And Sláinte, Marcus and Rachel, enjoy yourselves. John Main says, Banachty o San Francisco Grianmar. And sunny San Francisco today. John, lovely to have you along. And I'm sorry that I'm saying hello so late, just when I'm about to finish. Multi-Neil wants to know, was that the Crofters? I'm not sure. Daniel Keady, I read the story of Khazer, yet I failed understanding how it is creation myth. I need help with that. And that's something we will return to, because we are going to deal with creation mythology. It is creation myth because it pertains to the flood. And the flood is one of the creation myths. And that may be a tenuous link, in fairness. What's the name of the book again? T.W. Rolleston. Thomas Rolleston. Yeah, well, there are different versions of it. In Myths and Legends of the Celts. I actually have two versions of it. And Celtic Myths and Legends. Thomas Rolleston. That's for John Main on YouTube. Anyway, just catching up. The only disinfectant to ingest is whiskey, sláinte. I completely agree, Katrina. As it happens, I have a bottle of Bushmills just ready to be trialled for that very purpose. Out of the tragedy of their death, the Milky Way was created. Love that image, says Margaret. Isn't it a lovely idea of a lasting memorial, you know? And isn't it a lovely thing that, because this is something I wondered as a child when I used to watch the stars. You know, I used to read about all the classical mythology and the Arabic names of the stars, and the Babylonian and the Egyptians, you know, and the ancient Chinese who had all these constellations. And I often wondered, had the Irish in pre-literate times, in pre-Christian times, in prehistoric times, did they not have their constellations? But isn't it a lovely thought to think that there was once a time when children were brought outside at night and the parents would point, look, Shkriab Clonishna, you know, there is the track of the children of Uisneach, instead of saying there's the Milky Way, or, you know, there's Balach Bofina, you know. Lovely, lovely stuff. Lovely to think about that. Pat Rowan, love to all. Graw more, Pat. Tanya Noble says, good night all. Pat says, part of life. Exactly. Katrina says, moral of the story, listen to the women. Completely correct. Yes, she was completely ignored in this, and she had foreseen the whole thing, and they wouldn't listen to her at all. Aaron says there's a very famous series of ballads that talk about the trees growing from the graves of lovers and intertwining. Beautiful image. And that is probably from the same sort of theme of mythology and folklore, the idea of the twining branches. Barbara Kling, beautiful stories today. Gora Mahagot, Anthony. Sláinte, Barbara, and thanks. Hopefully you'll be along again tomorrow evening. Gaeilge is Irish. Gaelig, G-A-I-D-H-L-I-G, is Scottish. Gaeilge and Gaelig. Gaelig. Gaeilge and Gaelig. I think I have that right. Gaelig is Scottish, but a taboo of official disdain means they can't bring themselves to call it Scottish. Yeah, shocking, isn't it? Beautiful but sad, says Dave. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, good night, folks. Thanks a lot for watching in. And tomorrow at 8, so an hour later tomorrow evening, back to the normal time. Hope you can all join us. In the meantime, stay safe, keep washing your hands, practice the social distancing, do whatever needs to be done to keep people safe and to save lives wherever you are in the world. Our fodam dawan, sláinte agus slán go fóil to gach duine go léir, I gach áit to everybody in every place, I gach cahar in every city, I gach cheer in every country and land. Until tomorrow night, slán go fóil, bye for now. And to the YouTubers, slán go fóil, tusa féin. Bye bye.